What is up, my peepholes? This is your guy, Cly, and welcome back to That Thrifting Series. Like I said in previous videos, sorry for being away for so long, but the good news is that I've actually been thrifting and dumpster diving in that time, so I have quite a few things to share with you over the next few hauls. Also, sorry for the lack of cat in the start of this video, but they both woke up from naps recently and don't really want to behave and frame. They're a little restless now, so we'll see if they join me later. Today's haul is going to be a little bit tech-focused, and to start things off, I have a Griffin PowerMate USB jog wheel. And I know that made zero sense to most people out there, so what a jog wheel is in this case, a USB device that allows you to scroll backwards and forwards with your video footage and audio in editing software. It makes editing much easier. This retails for $45 still. I mean, this came out years ago for Windows XP. More on that in a second. But still retails for about $45. This is the silver version with blue LEDs in the bottom, though they do also have a black version with red LEDs. Kinda want it, but I don't want to drop $45. Instead, I paid $1 because the people at Goodwill had absolutely no idea what it was. Now, the problem with it being developed for Windows XP is that while it was developed for Windows XP and Mac during that time period, support for Windows has pretty much died. There's no real Windows 7 and definitely no real Windows 10 support, though there is still Mac support. This is still completely usable if you have a Macintosh. The good news is that even if I can't get it to work on Windows, the motherboard and CPU I have are well known for being Hackintosh compatible, which basically means with a little bit of tweaking, I can make my computer run Mac OS. So this isn't exactly a paperweight. Well, actually, it still isn't a paperweight, even if I don't go the Hackintosh route, because I do have some Windows XP dumpster dive machines that I've been sitting on to show you folks later. That being said, on to the next item. Alright, sticking with the theme of USB-based AV equipment, I have the M-Audio Expressions Pro USB MIDI controller. What this does is it gives me physical controls for various audio recording programs, and while it didn't come with the software that it was originally packaged with, turns out it may actually be compatible with the donationware program Voicemeeter, which is good because I actually plan on using it to add a noise gate to my recordings so that I don't have to cut out as much when it comes to post-processing my audio. It's actually quite nice with all the sliders, knobs, and whatnot. And the better part is that I only paid $3 for it. I almost didn't get it actually, not because I didn't want it. Goodness, I definitely wanted it at $3. But when I first saw it, somebody else was looking at it. They had it in their hands, they were mulling it over, but didn't exactly know what to make of it because there's only one port on it, really, and that's your USB port. So they set it down, walked away, I came over and snagged it. And I couldn't be happier. I haven't put it to use yet, but once I finally get my office properly set up, this is going to be a mainstay. On to the next item. I was able to bribe him to stay in the shot with his favorite catnip toy. We'll see how he acts the rest of the video. Anyway, beyond the cat is a new toy of mine. This is the Zalman MZ240ED 24-inch 1080p LED monitor. That was a lot of things, I know. But basically what this is a replacement for my 22-inch 1080p monitor that I also thrifted. You can see that in my previous video, Too Many PCs, where I show off my computer setup. At least my previous computer setup, and you'll see why in a few minutes. But the 22-inch was $5. This original price, at least on the ticket, oh goodness, cat, don't get the camera, don't boop it. Don't boop it. The original price was $13, but fortunately I had a coupon that brought it down to $8. So I paid $8 for this 24-inch 1080p screen. Couldn't be happier. Works perfectly. Speaking of 1080p screens that are probably a little bit big, there's this bad boy. This is the Samsung SyncMaster SA350 27-inch edition. And I do apologize if any of my S's get a little hissy there for anyone wearing headphones. This was originally $25, but with a 30% off coupon, we got it knocked down to $18. This is actually my girlfriend's monitor, not mine. I still have the nice large 32-inch that I pulled out of a dumpster. It is a 1080p LED screen, and there's a bit of a funny story behind it. Let's preface the story by saying it's from the same savers that charged me $5 for an Audio-Technica AT822, original retail price $419, current used price about $200, and $8 for an i7-3770K in a motherboard. The motherboard tends to go for about $200, the processor a little over $300, so I've got about $900 worth of tech, plus a decent amount pushing it closer to the 1,000 mark, for $13. That's the location we found this at. Since I made out like a bandit, they recently have gotten, maybe as a couple months ago, a new pricing manager, so any microphone tends to be behind the case for $20 plus, even if it's a really crappy $5 karaoke mic. In fact, I'm tempted to pick up a Five Below karaoke mic donated there and see what it ends up as. And any monitor about this size is going to be about $100. They haven't really gotten any more motherboard and processor combos in, so I have no idea where that would be priced. Not gonna lie. So yeah, they tend to charge about $100 for one of these, but we got it for $18 after the coupon. And that's because the long and short of it is it was kind of broken. Not in the screens shattered, capacitors are fried kind of sense, but in the sense that it was bricked. Apparently, Samsung did not do the best job at making sure it was released with decent firmware. So after a certain period of time, it would just start flashing whenever you try to turn it on. It's like you would turn it on, it would say, check cables, flash off. You'd plug in the proper cables. Turn on your computer, turn on the screen, check cables, flash off. Fortunately, after searching the internet for a bit, we came across the fact that they did indeed address this issue and release new firmware. And I apologize for the creaky chair I'm in. There we go, I was actually able to replicate it. Doesn't sound like I'm flatulating. Yay. Anyway, we were able to track down the new firmware for this, but they did something even weirder than usual. Unlike a lot of larger screens, they did not put a service port on here because they weren't really thinking you would have to update the firmware. So there was no USB port, no serial port, none of that stuff. You had to transfer the firmware via the VGA or HDMI connections. So we tried that on her computer. Didn't work. Did not work. After a little bit more Google foo, we found out that they had yet another programming oversight. You could not transfer the firmware via an external graphics card. If you have a graphics card plugged into your PCI port, or PCIe port these days, you cannot transfer the firmware. If you have a desktop, you can easily open up your case, pull your PCIe graphics card, and hopefully you have integrated graphics, because not all computers do these days. In fact, I have no idea how it would work if I had used it with my server, because it uses an AMD APU, which is basically your GPU, your graphics processing unit, and your CPU, your central processing unit, are one and the same. The motherboard has integrated graphics as long as you have an APU installed, but I don't know if it would count as an external graphics card. Wish I had tried that, to be honest. Fortunately, I did have my dumpster-dived laptop, which has integrated graphics, no external graphics card inside, which, for those of you wondering, yes, it is possible to have multiple graphics drivers in a laptop. My girlfriend actually has that in her main laptop from years and years ago. Have no idea how that would work either. But I was able to transfer the drivers after multiple days of cursing, and we got it working. Works beautifully. It's now her main gaming monitor. That tirade aside, hence why this haul is actually going to be a little bit shorter than others because I really wanted to get that story out there, because why did they design such a thing? I've got a couple more items to show you and then I'm off. Alright, I had to completely change up my lighting for this one because it is just so big, at least for the venue that I am recording in. It's completely blocking the natural light that I've been using. This is the Corsair Vengeance C70 PC case, Military Green Edition. So, if I pick up the camera, go, get a look around the front and the top, it is designed to look like an ammo box, and I love it. It's originally a $130 PC case, but my girlfriend found it and bought it for me for a whopping $13. It is completely unused. In fact, sitting inside one of the hard drive bays was the mounting hardware for your motherboard and everything. So I cannot wait to use it. And I can't wait to mod it, because with the aesthetic of it, I could easily put some Fallout insignias on it, a vault-tec logo and whatnot. I'm trying to figure out which vault I want to dedicate it to. I'm kind of leaning towards Vault 21 because I just love New Vegas, and Vault 21 was luck-based. And as you've seen, I have some ridiculous luck. I was actually with her when she found this, and I am glad she called me over, because lingering around her was a guy who looked like he was also about to go for the PC case, and the people that thrift in our areas are sometimes jerks. He probably would have tried to yank it away from her had I not appeared, and fortunately, I am a master of crazy, creepy face. As you've heard from my voice and seen from my interactions, I am actually not a crazy, creepy person. But then again, isn't that something a crazy, creepy person would say? I love the aesthetic. It's got a couple of USB 3.0 ports in the front, and the reset button is actually made like a missile switch. Oh, now you're up here, cat. Yeah, I see you there. I apologize for the messy area. But now that I've made this video, let me stop gushing over it. I can finally get to mounting my motherboard in here. So I look forward to doing that in the future. And when I finally get my office set up and do another office tour, you'll see this little guy chugging in the background. One more item for you. Alright, to round things off, I have got my least valuable and least value per dollar spent item from this haul. And to be perfectly honest, I'm completely fine with that. It is the Dorbs Power Armor Dark variant. It's a Loot Crate exclusive item, and, well, as you can see, I paid $5. Still sealed, and it was donated with a lot of other still sealed Loot Crate exclusives that were not in the same box. I'm wondering if there's an unboxer in that area. Sadly, I don't live there anymore, but I think there might have been an unboxer in the area who just said, I don't care about this stuff and I don't feel like selling it on eBay. Donate. I don't mind, because if you couldn't tell from me gushing over that PC case, I am a Fallout fanboy. And while, yeah, these things tend to go online for about $6 for the basic one, you're looking at anywhere from 10 to 15 for the dark variant after you count shipping. So $5 for it still sealed, perfectly fine with me. And to be honest, even if it were going for $5 online, $5 to have it in my hands right now, perfectly fine with me. This is going on my shelf with a few of my other Fallout-related items, and will be next to my PC case once it's ready. But that is all I have for you lot today. Until next time, where I'm probably going to be trying Dollar Tree steak. I'm going to try to get that up before the next That Thrifting Series, so yeah. I'm only sort of looking forward to that because I do want to see how it performs, but I don't want to eat the meat. The one after that in the same series has got me actually enticed, so yay, I can get that out of the way to get to the other good one. At least I hope it's good. Enough complaining. Anyway, until next time, this is your guy Cly, signing off.